Hello everyone. I hope that my voice is audible to everyone. So would you please confirm that my voice is audible to all of you? And if everyone can see my screen and my presentation. Okay. All right. Since we are all here and since you can all hear my voice, okay. Since you can all hear my voice, so let's start with our webinar for today. And of course, as you all know, that our webinar topic will be how to build next generation SOC solution. But before we get to the webinar topic, let me first introduce myself. This is Mustafa Al-Gitma, System Engineer in IT Pillars. And of course, as you all see in here, that these are our emails that you can reach out for us through them, like ManageEngine@itpillars.com and madel@itpillars.com, which is my email in IT Pillars. So our agenda for our topic, how to build your generation SOC solution for today, is Saudi Arabia as a prime target for attacks, common attacks, affected organization and percentage, overview for SOC solution, the activities of a SOC, the benefits of building a SOC, and the people within a next generation SOC, the technologies within a next generation SOC like Log360, and the key performance indicators to monitor, and of course a summary to summarize everything that we have been talking about. Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as a prime attack. Of course, as we all know, that Saudi Arabia can be considered as one of the largest countries in the number of attacks in the third world. 40% attack and data breaches are deeply focused against small and medium. And of course, we can't all ignore one of the greatest attack that happened on one of the greatest companies like Shamoon attack. So basically, we are speaking about 60 million cyber attacks has been targeted in the kingdom for the last for this year, for 2020. So we are speaking about or talking about around 167,000 attacks daily that been happening on the daily basis, that been happening on the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And this is, believe it or not, a huge number of attacks. So that we need to be prepared for it. So the increasing percentage of attacks has been reaching out for at least 148%, especially after the work from home policy, and of course after the ransomware attack. So that's why the Saudi Arabia cyber expert has been warning the entire people who are working in the kingdom and the enterprises to be ready with a SOC solution and to be prepared with everything to defend their organization. When you defend your organization, so you are protecting everything inside. You are protecting the data and the people. So let's take a hint about the common attacks that has been happening on the last couple of years, like SQL injection attack, phishing and spear phishing attacks, malware, botnets, cross-site scripting attacks, denial of service and distributed denial of service attack, ransomware, and buffered overflow. Not only this, but also like cloud vulnerabilities, AI-enhanced cyber threats, AI fuzzing, machine learning poisoning, smart contract hacking, social engineering, and deepfake, and etc., and the list goes on without stopping. And the experience with various incidents, the percentage of organizations that experience attempt to have information deleted or destroyed. For example, the government has been reaching at least 51%. The communication has been reaching 44%. The finance 37%, finance and banking 42%, and 34% for manufacturing, and industry and energy 47. So basically, according to the survey results, the government and energy sectors are the top two industries that experience destructive attacks by threat, followed of course by the communications and finance and banking. So after all of this, what really SOC looks like? What Security Operations Center looks like? As you all can see with me in here, they are not only a group of people that's sitting on front of a monitor to see or monitor everything, no, but also they are categorized by teams, like network team, security teams, application teams, and etc. So they are a security specialist, security professionals who are prepared and ready to everything to defend your organization, and they are prepared to everything that could happen inside your organization and enterprise. But before we go to the SOC, we need to have an introduction to the SOC. SOC is a Security Operations Center, which is a centralized function that protects the confidentiality, integrity, availability of the company's valuable resources, assets, and data by making use of people to process and technology in the best way possible. So basically, or to put it in a nutshell, it's a place where everything that's categorized and centralized to make sure that your data is in confidentiality, integrity, availability, and everything is available by using the best way of resources and the people to defend your organization. But what SOC needs to do and how SOC really do and looks like. In the beginning here, you're going to have to collect logs from multiple resources like routers, switches, firewalls, files, and also the cloud. Not only this, but also you have to collect logs from endpoint security devices like intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. And finally, you need to collect log that comes to you in a unique format. That could be applications, devices that generate logs in a very specific format. But you're going to have to go beyond collecting logs. So SOC must ingest the log. You need to understand these logs in order to get enriched information and enriched data so that you are able to use it in the future from the SIM solution by using the correlation rules that can be applied in anomaly detection and can be used and threats and can be identified. In this way, the ingestion of the logs gives you some enriched information. And by having these enriched information, you are able to analyze, which is very important step that we all need to be ready for it. So in the analysis step, we got to ask information, which is very important. Like, we call it the 4 W's. Why this happened, who did it, when did it happen, and where did it take place, so that you are able to make the investigation, you are able to respond, and you are able to remediate the issue and be able to fix it as soon as possible. You are able to fix it immediately. So that's why we need to understand how the organization of a SOC solution looks like. First of all, you're going to have, of course, as we've been speaking previously about collecting the logs from everywhere, from the SIM solution. Then you get to the SIM solution, and of course, you get to alerts. And by the alert, you're going to have to categorize it to go from SOC analyst tier 1, which is the one who's responsible to have eyes on the glass, to have a report of the SOC. In case of needs to be forwarded to make more or further investigation, then a SOC analyst tier 2 will take the incident, will make his investigation, and of course he will ask the 4 W's, which is when did it happen, who did it, and where did they do it, and what happened, in order to get to the root cause of for any analysis. And of course, to do the forensic analysis of the level 2 or the second analyst tier 2, you're going to have to use tools like sophisticated tools like to enable the Elasticsearch to help them to drill down to the problem. Also, analysis tried queries on the SIM solution. You will list out for them all information that you are looking for, so that you are using real-time data and historical data, so that you can get everything that's happening. And after the layer 2 or the SOC analyst tier 2 get his info and get his data and figure out that this data need to be forwarded to be fixed immediately, here the incident handler will take a place. In other organizations or different organizations, they call him the SOC analyst tier 3, which is the one who's prepared with the tools to fix the issue and remediate it. But this is all for a typical SOC solution, not for the next generation SOC solution. And in the next generation SOC solution, it needs to be ready and prepared all the time, which is 24/7. And you need to think out of the box, like different teams with different tools, which is able to investigate and ready with everything in order to remediate the issue before even it happens, like insider threat teams, which is investigate and see what could cause the issue inside the organization. People who are ready or teams who are ready to hunt the threat from the inside, like threat hunting teams. Defensive team like red team. And offensive team like blue teams in different organizations. And of course, working hand by hand and side by side with the engineers, which are people who are ready to make the remediation and side by side, hand by hand with the incident handlers. So let's take a glance about the alert from the Log360. As you all here can see, that these are the logs or the alerts that's happening and coming from my systems from different places. You can see the critical alert, trouble alert, attention alerts, and all the alerts that's happening in the background of your infrastructure, like service control, user access granted, from home, the status, and you can see further and more of alerts that's happening in the background right now. And of course, working by the integration with the Service Desk Plus, which can be used to forward the logs or forward the alerts to whom or to which analyst. Like this issue needs to be forwarded to the SOC analyst tier 1. This man is looking for or investigating. This the status of the ticket, which is open, due by, assigned to whom, and so on. Okay, so let's take a glance actually on the system itself. As you can see here, this is the dashboard. So Log360 or the next generation SOC solution, it's not only one product, it's 6 products in one. So you can see the dashboard, which gives you the real time, the data or the things that's happening in real time, like AD audits plus event log analyzer, Office 365, and Exchange Report Plus, and of course the machine learning for the UBA, which is user entity and behavior analytics, and even the cloud. So you are getting everything from everywhere. So you can, for example, you can see these alerts, and these alerts will be forwarded to the SOC analyst from the Service Desk Plus. You can see it's not only one alert, it's a different alert with different categorizers. You can get to see the alert itself. You can see the critical and you can see the trouble. I'm sorry for this. I know the system needs to be, updated. So here you can see the alert. You can go forward. You can see more details inside, like the message itself, common severity, the row log, and etc. and etc. Okay. So as we've been speaking previously, it's not only one product. I'm sorry, it's more than one product. So that's why it's called Log360. It gives you a view for a 360-degree view on everything in the background right now. So let's get back to our beloved presentation in here. We can see here that the service desk, the alert forwarded to whom, and so on. But let's take a little bit of a use case. Just imagine here that a user has been disabled and this user has left the organization. And out of the sudden, this user has been re-enabled. So let's think here, is this okay? So the SIM solution will get the logs, will get the alerts, and figure out, is this okay? Did this happen by mistake? Is this enabled or disabled by mistake? And then, does this warrant need to be investigated further? Do we need to investigate it? And in case if it needs to be investigated further, it will be forwarded to whom? Of course, our beloved man, the SOC analyst tier 1. After that, our beloved SOC analyst tier 1 will do his report, will check it out, see the alert. If it's needed any further investigation, the suitable man for the investigation with it, which is SOC analyst tier 2. This man, his own mission is to investigate, to use the raw data, to use the search queries, to use everything possible in his hand to make sure that this needs to be remediated. And of course, if it needs to be remediated or fixed, it will be forwarded to whom? To the incident handler. And this will do what? Will fix the issue and remediate it. And by that, you are able to defend and to secure your organization. So, as we've been saying about the technologies, it's not only one technology, it's six. For example, you got incident detection, security analysis, threat intelligence, UBA, which is the new generation of the Log360 or the machine learning, user and entity behavior analysis, data security to defend against the ransomware, cloud monitor to monitor about the cloud, and integrated compliance management, which gives you that you are using your software in the best practice possible, so that you are getting a comprehensive SIM solution to enable business to gain full control over the network and to solve all the network management and network security issues. It's important to acquire and ingest and make sense of all data from different type of log sources in order to help solving the issues in the network and in the infrastructure. Okay, so a good SIM solution to provide you with the metrics that show the security portion of the organization. And here we can see some of the capabilities of the SIM solution that align with the next Gen-SOC. You have security analysis, threat intelligence, machine learning, user and entity behavior analysis, data security, cloud monitoring, and the rest goes on. Let's take a glance on what's happening in the background. For example, a collection of the logs. So you are getting the collection from the network devices application, like security devices, and configuration of the changes, database, and web servers activity, Active Directory for ED auditing, privileged user activity, critical Active Directory changes, the endpoint solutions, and for the cloud and the Office 365 and the Exchange servers for the mailbox traffic, content, permissions, traffic statistics, Exchange servers, and that you're going to have to move on to the advanced event correlation, which basically depends on the pattern base and incident detection. And of course, your SIM solution or SIC solution will be prepared with the predefined rules. A rules has been configured previously in order to detect suspicious software, cryptojacking, war activity, and so on. And the dashboard that we have been seeing before, like incident overview dashboard, field timelines, which give you what's happening and when, the custom correlation rule builder, and the advanced field-based filter. Let's take a glance on one of the attacks. For example, you are getting an attack, and this attack is happening on your infrastructure. The first step that our attacker tried to get to the VPN, and he decided to make a this attack. And for every 2 minutes, an attempt of an attack or an attempt of access has been happening. So for the 5 times, you got 10 minutes. So this is timeline. Eventually, after the next 3 times, the next 3 minutes, we were able to get a VPN login. Then he gets an assigned to the ID address when we need to see since he logged to the VPN. and of course, eventually we got its target, which is the domain controller. And in the next 15 minutes, we were able to download and install a malicious software, so that in 30 minutes timeline, we were able to attack and take control and download and install a suspicious application. And that's come the powerful of the forensic investigations and log forensics. By the using the powerful of the Elasticsearch based engine and search engine that helps you to make the best way of the analysis of the complex incident and discover the root cause in minutes. Also, you are able to use a basic and advanced search. You are able to use a flexible option to build search queries from the scratch, from the beginning, and use advanced query build interface. And you are by that able to search through the raw and formatted logs, including for the log archives. And since you are already having a manager on top of you, so you are able to save these searches, save these results, save these alerts, and forward it to them in a report. Okay, threat intelligence. And this comes the most powerful tool, which gives you the ability to detect network intruders, to threat data, real-time alert with malicious URLs, IP addresses, and domain controller names. Also, you are able to use the sticks and Texas threat feeds, and you are able to integrate with the webhook, the next generation threat intelligence service, which gives you the reputation score, the classification of the IP and URL, and definitely there are no configuration needed. It happens automatically and dynamically with the dynamic updates on the daily basis. Okay, let's take a glance on the integrated threat feed. So the Log360 basically can be considered as a centralized base where you can collect logs, where you can, once it's collected, it will make an advanced threat analytics, and by that we'll get to make an in-depth threat report. And eventually, it will help you to make the real-time threat alert. So from the feed store, which get the data from third-party threat feeds and the incident that happens from them, and it will be forwarded to the Log360, and by that, you're going to get real-time threat alerts, advanced threat analytics, and in-depth threat report, and by that you are able to defend against any threat using the SOC solution. So you are able to see in a 360 way everything, but not also that you are able to get the logs from out there, the attacks that happened before, and you can see them and you can be ready for them by having the updates automatically and dynamically on the daily basis. For example, this is the idea of the advanced threat analytics. You are able to get the category, for example, real estate. This can be considered as a high risk. You can able to get the reputation score, domain name, which is .com, domain age. For example, this domain has been created for at least 6 months. The flag as a malicious on when it's been flagged as 7 December 2018, 9 AM 30 minutes, and even by second 54 seconds. And of course, they give you the recommendation, which is log the URL. So even it's even giving you the recommendation so that you are ready for it before it even happens. So anomaly detection. Anomaly detection can be considered as one of the machine learning, which is the new generation of the SOC solution. I'm sorry. A good anomaly detection can take at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks to learn what's normal and what's not normal, so that you are able to get to the root cause of the issue. And the anomaly is based on pattern, time, and count. And also you are able to get the risk score based on threat prioritization, determine a degree of the risk posed by an identified threat. So then the SOC analyst also can add the user and entities to a watch list so that he's able to have his eyes on this user or this entity in case it's doing something malicious. And then identify the indicators of the common threats like account compromise, data exploitation, and insider threats. Let's take a look on the anomaly detection dashboard. For example, you are able to see everything in the recent alarms, number of events investigated, the anomalies detected, and the tracking user and entities, and so on, and the top 10 anomalies activities, and etc. Also, you can see the user behavior analysis, who's doing what, and you can able to see what he's doing, and you can able to track him and put him in the watch list, and also you are able to see your entities inside your info. So let's take a look on the next generation UBA, or which are machine learning. I'm sorry for this, system takes a couple of minutes to boot. Okay, as you can see here, this is our dashboard, our lab dashboard. And here you can see everything like the recent alarms. You can take a deep look inside. You can see the entity, which is by IP address, obtain how many events done, the threshold, and you can see the threshold interval and so on. So you can see the alert status, entity type, and you can see everything in the alert that's happening in the background. In the dashboard, you can see the top 10 anomalies here. These anomalies has been done on the SQL, Windows file activities, SQL email, and even on the USB activities. You can take a look on the users. How many users do we have? Hundreds of users. You can put them on the watch list to monitor and track them in here so that you are able to see this user doing what. Like just by a simple click, you are able to see the insider threats and the internal threats that could compromise your organization, data exploitation, and even the compromised accounts inside. You can see the entities and devices inside or in the infrastructure of your organization. For example, this one is doing a malicious something, and we need to track it. In order to track it, just put it on the watch guard like this. And by that, you can see inside, like what's top down, the risk score, the top 10 entities risk score gain, and so on. You can see, of course, the anomaly report, since we already have managers everywhere and who standing on the top of our heads need to get everything and figure out everything. So by that, you can able to see these reports and you can use them to forward it to them and save it. And as we've been speaking before, the anomaly alert or the anomaly report, the anomaly tool based on time-based, count-based, and pattern-based. Not only this, but also based on the criteria. You can use the users and you can use the hosts. Of course, it will take some time, but you can see here these hosts doing what. You can see the system activities. If it's startup, shutdown, service, software, UC activities, registry, and application. So let's get here. Okay. So you are not only using the UBA as a machine learning, but we are also using the Data Security Plus, which is a tool that used to help you to defend your organization against the ransomware, which can be considered one of the greatest attacks that happened on this century. That it makes every modification, manipulation inside your infrastructure, and this is extremely something that we need to take care of. And by using the Data Security Plus, you are ensuring the integrity. You are ensuring the integrity of your confidential files folder with the file integrity monitoring, get real-time alerts for unauthorized file access, permission change, and modification. So by using also the predefined rules and pre-configured policies, you can be ready for this. You can defend against any attack like ransomware or the sensitive data, so that you are able to take backup, you are able to remediate the server or the files against the rest of the attack or the rest of your network, so that you are able to revert it when it's ready, so that you are putting it in a quarantine to avoid any infection for the rest of the data and the rest of the files. Also, the incident management. By using the incident management, you are able to schedule an automatic incident ticket assignment. You can track the incident status and maintain the in-house knowledge base of the resolved incident, so that in case of ticket or in case of an issue has been resolved, you are able to build a knowledge base, and by using this knowledge base, the rest of the security specialists and security professionals are able to use it and get back to it. So the question is, are we only using Service Desk Plus? No. We are using ServiceNow, Jira Service Desk, Gen-Desk, Remedy, PMC, Remedy, and Clear. And this is the integration way by getting to the alert, and of course using our tool. And also you can get to the metrics to monitor, which allows you or helps you to monitor everything in the background of the performance of the security specialists and professionals, like mean time to resolve tickets, number of incidents handled, number of alerts, and the list goes on. So to put it in a nutshell, being ready is better than being attacked. Being ready for any incident, being ready for any anomaly, being ready for against any insider threats, against any ransomware, against any attack, will put your organization in a safe place and will bring your people in a safe place that helps them to work in a good, safe organization. And this is ideal. You are safe against attack. And of course, we all know what we say: better safe than sorry. And we don't wanna regret being attacked. We don't wanna get attacked by ransomware. And that's why we are advising you, in order to be ready to get to the next generations of solutions, so that you are able to defend against any attack in the organization, to defend and to protect your infrastructure, so that you are ready for everything that could happen. So, and of course, and here we come to the end of our webinar of today. And regarding the questions and answers, in case if we didn't answer all the questions, and in case we didn't answer everything, this is our emails and this is our numbers that you can get back to it, which is ManageEngine@itpillars.com and emma@itpillars.com. And of course, we will answer you with an email. A recording will be sent to your emails, so that you are able to review it and get the best of it. So we got 2 questions for now. So one of the questions: what is the difference between red team and blue team? As we've been saying before, that red team and blue team can be used inside your organization. You can use both of them in order to use the best practice to defend and to make sure that everything is safe inside the organization. The red team for the defensive and the blue team is for offensive. For the offensive, the UBA, the UBA can be considered as a machine learning. It takes at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks to learn everything inside your infrastructure. It's not only for Windows. No, it's for Unix, for Cisco. It's for applications like Active Directory Login Carrier, Active Directory User Management, Active Directory Process Activity, for firewall devices, for cloud services. We got Azure, AWS, Google. I can get failed events, updated events. You can get to Google, you can get to AWS. You can see the account base, you can see the criteria inside. You can even get the user activities. Okay. Also regarding the ManageEngine Event Log Analyzer, which is part of the SOC solution. So you are getting the log from everywhere as we've been speaking about. You can see the events overview, the network overview, the security overview. You can also build your SOC solution dashboard, as you can see in here. You can use different themes, like dark theme in here for building the SOC solution. You can see the IDS and IDS, vulnerabilities, threat vectors, and correlative incidents. You can see also the reports, all events and important events, for what devices. And of course, you can choose what devices you are looking for which groups. You can see inside the Windows, Unix and Linux, IBM, Cisco, Sonic Wall, Fortinet, Juniper, and the rest. So on. Of course, you got the vulnerabilities using different tools like Nessus, Expose, Nmap, OpenBAS, and Qualys. Okay. You can see the top vulnerabilities, the account brute force processing, the count of it, the percentage of it, the policies reports, information data vulnerabilities, and services vulnerabilities, potential vulnerabilities, confirm vulnerabilities, and search vulnerabilities. So basically, you are having a 360-degree view. So to wrap it up, Log360 is not only one, it's a group of applications, a group of tools that help you to be ready for everything that could happen in your organization. So what are we waiting for to defend against any attack that could happen against our organization? I think we should get ready. I hope I was informative for all of you, and I hope that you are getting the best of this, and I hope you are getting the best of this webinar. In case if we couldn't answer your questions, do not hesitate to send it to our emails, as we have been speaking about it before, and we will answer to you with a recording of the webinar. Thank you for viewing. I hope it was a informative.